you on the
It's no one
industry practice
in America's not.
you can make an informed
For the past
smart people can make
smart step toward
investments when they're
earned. Call
and lack the
741
call 800
7
76
653.
800 221
before
769
7
frickin' federal.com.
Oldies 101.
Weather. Weather will be a lot quieter tonight than it was last night. Low temperature 21. Mostly cloudy in the evening, partly cloudy late. And tomorrow, some sunshine in the morning. Wednesday, more clouds in the afternoon. High of 31. Scattered snow showers Wednesday night, low of 19. Partly sunny 26 on Thursday, partly sunny to finish the week, and 28 Friday. I'm meteorologist Paul Poteet on Oldies 101.
Anderson Talks with Mitch Henck on Oldies 101.
Take it easy, take it easy.
All right.
The sound of your own
The Eagles, by request, by the way. It's always good advice. Take it easy. Pete Bitar. Boy, he's the man in the spotlight tonight as a member of the Anderson Redevelopment Commission, and we're going over some numbers. You brought some papers in. Mm-hmm. We've been, and Kelly was saying 48 million. I wish you got the total of 48, but now you're saying it's supposedly a little over 45 million is what they're putting in paper.
Yeah, I mean that's what they hand out they gave us. So I'm quoting. It's
but again,
$45,150,327.
Even if it's 45 million, and we can check with Kelly where she got the other three, but 45 is a huge increase from 20. 20 was the original TIF proposal, which we've been talking about for years.
Right.
And all of a sudden they want to go to 38.5 with TIF. And these additional monies, grants, and so forth, you're saying up to 45. So we're quibbling. Of course, it's going to be more than that with the cost overruns, as it usually is the case. But so why'd you vote no? You're one of two no votes.
Right. So, well, first of all, thank you for having me on, Mitch. And I know we're not talking about flying cars this time.
Duty calls.
That's right, duty calls. So here's the thing. Mitch, I'm a businessman. I mean, I'm just a small business owner. I don't know anything about big stuff like this, but I've run $20 million programs in the past, okay? And I know what it takes to go through a budget and an approval process and all of the justifications that you need to spend that kind of money. And I'll just use the Anderson Redevelopment Commission experience that I've had in the last 11 months since I started in January as an example. We for example, approved a $4 million sort of pseudo grant loan thing to Perfecto Tool to build a new facility. We spent 3 months deliberating that before we finally voted to approve that thing. We had PowerPoint presentations and financials and marketing studies and job creation studies and everything else that went into that, and also the tax impact later for investing in them now. It would more than pay for itself in the property taxes that they would pay over time that they would be there, right? So it made a ton of sense. Like, we went through the rigor and the due diligence before we spent $4 million. Here we are spending 10 times that and did none of that. None of the prep work, none of the due diligence, none of the marketing.
I think you said in the paper, who's going to come to the park?
Yeah, who's going to come to the park, A, and B, when are they going to do it? Because if you're Anderson Community Schools get out May 29th this year, and they start back to school around August 1st. That's 9 weeks at best, okay? You're talking 9 weeks of use and 43 weeks of no use of that water park, pretty much. I mean, and who are they? What's the maintenance cost going to be? What's the upkeep going to be? What is the impact going to really be on the community? And then we're not even talking about the Superfund site that's within a couple hundred yards of the place.
Somebody called about that last night.
Yeah, nobody knows anything about that. And is there a study done on that? And is it going to have any impact on this facility, which I can't imagine it won't. So, there are so many issues involved in this that we just didn't even have a chance to deliberate, and we're forced into a vote, and it's a 3-2 override. Boom, we're done. End of discussion. $38 million, half of the entire TIF budget goes right out the window, and that's $38 million if assuming we get the IEDC grant. for $4 million, and then they're doing a bond. Okay, so fine, there's a bond, but
Yeah, Kelly had
nevertheless,
it up to 48, but you've got it 45
Yeah.
plus.
yeah. I mean, who knows?
It's still a lot of money.
I mean, it doesn't matter. It's the process that mattered to me. And again, like, here's the thing: I'm not against doing something like this, but like I was talking to you just off mic, what if we spent $5 million more, or $6 million more, or $10 million more, and we could use it, like create part of it as an indoor water park that we could use year round?
Right.
What kind of impact would that be?
Well,
but
I've
without a
seen that.
marketing study or without anything behind it,
Well-
how do you know what the justification is for spending any money?
The ones in the Wisconsin Dells, those water parks are packed 12 months a year.
Exactly.
But those are giant resort hotel water parks. I mean,
But it doesn't have to scale to that to be used. I mean, it can be used. And
Well,
if
you do a smaller version, yeah.
absolutely.
But again, to go 12 months, that's the point. But you'd have to have something for the winter. But I guess you're suggesting, and it's a good point, something more than just an ice skating area and a hot chocolate shelter.
Right.
You need something going on to attract people.
And they have a pavilion that they said there'll be year-round use, but it's 5,400 square feet.
Is that for the various social gatherings?
Apparently.
Yeah.
But 5,400 square feet? I mean, that's like my entire facility is 7,500 square feet. It's like you've seen my facility.
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
that big. Like two-thirds of my facility.
It's
That's
not,
what they're talking
It's not
about.
overly
No,
giant.
I've done events with like 30 or 40 people. That's the most you could do in a space of 5,000 square feet.
I'm not sure what groups they're trying to suggest would come to that pavilion.
Maybe, I don't know, wedding rehearsal
well,
dinners. I don't know. But point is that there wasn't a lot of forethought, vision. How does this fit into the rest of the waterfront? How does this fit into the bigger picture in terms of the Visitors Bureau and how that ties into the economic development and the social development and the planning for the whole city? Where does this fit? And where's the marketing for it? How are people even going to know about this thing other than through Scuttlebutt and listening to your show? Like, there's not really a lot going on in terms of a budget beyond just building this thing. And by the way, we only have one quote. Like, since when do we just do one quote? I don't get this. So there's so many
One
things.
quote for the whole thing, or a quote for
so
part
far,
of it?
I mean, this is all we have. We have
the money, $45 million.
one budget,
Well,
one source. It's coming out of what's the name of this company? Begins with M. Anyway, yeah, it's just one source. We don't
To do
have
the whole
multiple
thing.
bids. Like,
Yeah, right.
so, and I'm assuming they're going to put it out for bid. I don't
Well,
know.
all I've read so far is a possible amphitheater to, I assume, family shows, because you've got concerts in the summer already downtown.
You can see the map. I brought the
Yeah, I can
pictures
see
here.
it, yeah. You've got a suggestion for rock climbing for the kids, playground equipment, some sort of a, quote, aquatic center. Now we're really going uptown on that idea. And, walking path, and green space. That's all I've really read that they want to do. I think if we're going to have a rock climbing for the kids, you should have a moonwalk so the kids can trampoline with that enclosed thing so they can wear themselves out. The parents want them to be tired. And then winter, there's got to be some kind of winter activity. You've made a good point about an indoor water park could go 12 months, which is smart. But with 45 million, or whatever the case, you can do a lot of stuff. You can do a lot of stuff.
You would think.
But to attract people from the area and from outside you've got to really have something that would lure them.
Yeah, and again, like it's about the programmatics, and I complained about this and have fought this about the Purdue building, the P3 building that we called it originally, what they're calling the flagship East building, which is a joke. But all that to say, that was supposed to be a community center for innovation. People be able to go in there and access a maker space that they could join like a Y membership and use that as the public. That Purdue building on, the one on Scatterfield right by the railroad tracks, by Lowe's. Okay, so that one never materialized into what it was. Why? Because they bonded against it using CREED and TIF money, and then had zero budget, zero for operations, nothing. So they built the building, they rented it out they stole one of my tenants, Go Electric, and put him in there, and then they got Purdue in there, and it's just a rental property. That's all it is. It doesn't do anything in terms of innovation for the city. It doesn't do anything about what it was originally pitched to the state for the CREED funding that they got, by the way. That was never done. I put together a 10-page business plan just as a draft. That's the only thing out there. They used it to potentially get funding, maybe. I don't know what they used it for, but they didn't do anything with it. They never actually followed the budget or any of the plan. And there's zero operational thought. Let's just build something, build it, and they will come. And nobody knew who would come. Nobody knew what the long-term aspect of it would be. $15 million of taxpayer money goes into this thing, and it's done nothing other than house Purdue, a few students for Purdue. Like, we're talking tens of students for Purdue, and a business that's not doing great right now in that facility.
Not well thought out.
Not well thought out, and no long-term plan, and no sense of a vision of how you use this for the future. Same thing with this.
I heard quotes. I read quotes. Greg Winkler in the article. We got to do something with Athletic Park. We got to do something. Well, yeah, we got to do something. So what are we going to do?
Put the diligence into planning and figuring out how we use the entire waterfront. Right now, the waterfront sports a Social Security office and a jail. That's our waterfront right now. You know?
Not much.
No. I mean, and you've got really a beautiful, if you go to Elkhart is the same size as Anderson.
Oh, yeah. Well, we
beautiful
talked about
waterfront.
Lafayette. We talked about
Right.
Fort Wayne.
Beautiful waterfront. They've done something with that.
Well, yeah,
We've got the
Fort Wayne
same
spent a
thing.
fortune on their waterfront.
But look what they get out of it.
Right.
And I mean, they're saying the same thing about this athletic park thing. There's, it'll generate use from the people in the city, and it'll just kind of invigorate the downtown and so on. Yeah, it would if you actually had a plan. But it's not just going to happen because you said it's going to happen. You built a water park in isolation.
Let's set the markers on where we are.
Yeah.
The vote was 3-2.
Yeah.
It's been announced that groundbreaking is supposed to happen in the spring of 2026. Take roughly 2 years to complete the project. I'm not sure what. But that's about it, right? I mean, there's nothing else to.
It's in isolation. There's nothing else around it. There's no other thought about that. They're thinking, well, maybe something else will happen, but there's no plan. There's no comprehensive sense of what we're going to do with the riverfront.
It sounds like we've set the bar high, and we're going to fill in the blanks.
Right. And it's it's interesting that it's right before it'll be done basically during an election year. That's
2027,
right? I mean, is that right?
I think that's right. Yeah. Well, that's correct.
If it's done.
So your calls are welcome. I'm going to take a breaky poo here. 378-2086. That's 378-2086. We're on this story. It's a big story. Pete Bitar is a voting member of Redevelopment Commission's our guest. Welcome back. Your calls are welcome. You're listening to Anderson Talks on Oldies 101 WHBU.
Network Indiana Sports. I'm Kirk Darling. Sauce Gardner has a calf injury, says head coach Shane Steichen. He will not be placed on injured reserve, but he says Gardner will be missing some time.
That's the NFL. I mean, guys are going to get hurt, guys are going to get injured, miss time, and it's next man up, and you got to put the pieces together and scheme it up and put your guys in position to go be successful. Whoever's out there, we got faith and trust in.
The Colts gave up a lot to get Gardner, 2 first-round picks and Adonai Mitchell, if you remember. The Colts are in a tough spot as far as the playoff race is concerned. They face Jacksonville on Sunday. It's a 1 versus 2 matchup in the Big Ten championship game. The Indiana football Hoosiers have Ohio State inside Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis Saturday. Head coach Kurt Signetti says his defense will have their work cut out.
The quarterback's playing great. They got big-time weapons on the outside. And the tight end, too, Claire, is a weapon. The running backs have gotten better every week and had big days last week against Michigan. Special teams are really good.
The Hoosiers are 4-point underdogs at the moment. Now talking some college basketball, Purdue remains the top team in the nation and are followed by Michigan, who climbed 4 spots in the latest rankings. Indiana climbed 5 spots to number 19. Butler also receiving votes in the polls. Purdue has Rutgers tonight to open Big Ten play on the road. The Dogs are hosting Eastern Michigan. Indiana will face Minnesota on the road tomorrow. It was a 135-119 loss to the Cleveland Cavaliers last night for the Indiana Pacers. Head coach Rick Carlisle says they can't dilly-dally around the issues the team is having right now.
We've got to look at this, be objective about it, correct things that need correcting, and get ready for Wednesday.
The Pacers are 4-17. Wednesday has them facing the Denver Nuggets at home. Network Indiana Sports, I'm Kirk Darling.
Are you ready for a fresh perspective on life? It's God's turn to speak. Join us Sundays at 9 a.m. right here on WHBU for our God's Turn radio broadcast. During God's Turn, you'll hear from Dr. Daniel Stevens, the senior pastor at Grace Baptist Church in Anderson, Indiana, as he presents powerful truths from God's Word for your life today. Tune in for God's Turn at 9 a.m. every Sunday.
Save big money on new appliances when you shop at Menards. We have an excellent in-stock appliance selection from great brands at the best prices. Ready to take home today. Whether you want new laundry appliances or need upgrades for your kitchen, you'll be sure to find appliances that'll make your life easier. Visit Menards and save big money on appliances today. Plus, check out Menards.com to view all of our great deals happening this week.
Live local radio for the drive home. Anderson Talks with Mitch Henck on Oldies 101.
Here comes the sun. Here comes the
Actually
sun.
sounds pretty good right now.
It's alright.
The great George Harrison. The forgotten Beatle. Oh, he's not forgotten by everybody. Come on. I mean, his mother never forgot him. What can I tell you? Now your mic's on now. I had to turn it off earlier when it was on.
No problem.
Pete Bitar, our guest, and he's the man of the hour because he is a member, a voting member of the 5-person Anderson Redevelopment Commission. I'm not counting Joanna Collette, who's a non-voting member, but she's a non-voting member as well. But 3-2 was the vote to go forward with this massive plan, or not plan, but projection, I guess. $45 million is what we're figuring. Right. $45 million plus.
Yeah.
In writing.
Right.
I'll have to ask Kelly where she found the other $3 million, but in any event, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so it kind of goes to, and you've talked about this for years, the need for a wider vision, a master plan and so forth for the city, and there's been often generational splits and people who are more aggressive and activist in their call for reform and development in the city versus those who would maybe not want to do as much. But here, you've got kind of an established body going for a massive amount of money for something.
Yep. Yeah.
And not much in detail.
No, and again, it's throwing stuff on the wall to see what sticks, and you're doing that with $45 million. I mean, that seems like kind of crazy. $45 million, by the way, is a significant portion, if not all of the entire city budget for a year, or at least it used to be. I mean, maybe we're bigger than that now, but I mean, it's a
lot of
big
money.
number.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
So, but now if you're going to draw people, like, some things are easy, like going to Colts games. That's going to draw people.
Yeah.
Or, having, casinos draw a certain amount of people or whatever the case. The Speedway, draws a certain amount of people. But how do you know what's going to draw enough people to sustain this kind of a project? I mean, like you were saying, who's going to come?
Right.
What's the goal? People, families living in the city and beyond with people coming in. You've got to, if you're going to do a major enterprise like this, you want to draw families. It's geared toward that.
That's supposedly the idea, and I am not opposed to the concept.
Splash pad,
yeah,
rock climbing, playground equipment, an aquatic center,
right,
an amphitheater, and a walking path and green space. I think that's what we've read so far.
Right. There's a lazy river. There's a bunch of stuff.
Oh, is that lazy river part of it?
Yeah.
Okay, so when they say aquatic center, they're including that.
Yeah, it's a full water park. I mean, it's not a bad idea in principle. It's just that we're in a position right now where, again, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. I mean,
well, the
this
water
is the
park,
thing.
if it's an outdoor water park, you have a short shelf life.
Yeah, you got 2 months. And then what about the rest of the maintenance throughout the rest of the year? Like, have we talked about anything in terms of the operational costs? Have we talked about anything in terms of the marketing costs and the marketing studies that are necessary to figure out how do you get some kind of return on investment, even if it's not a payback of this $45 million? If it's a payback at least of the operational budget, then it would be helpful to see that somewhere. Has anybody done that diligence? We haven't seen it, but we're forced to vote on it anyway.
Well, I like your idea of an indoor water park.
I mean, what if part of it was indoor? Like, so that you could at least use some of it year-round. Like, they're saying, oh, well, 5,400 square feet is going to be year-round use.
Is that for the park or for the
no, that pavilion.
gathering pavilion?
Yeah, that little gathering pavilion. Okay, big deal. But that's like 5,400 square feet. You could do that anywhere in town. So where is the big draw? Like, what's the point of that place being the thing that people would go to? And again, you're using it 18% of the year, and the other 82% of the year, it's basically unused.
Well, if you're doing a warm weather enterprise,
yeah, exactly. And then what about lifeguards? What about staff? You know, if you're going to hire students for doing these activities, where are you going to get them when they're going back to school? Like, so these are the thoughts that I've had, and they keep coming. The questions keep coming because there are no answers. There was no study that presented to us anyway. There was no forethought in terms of how does this fit into the broader downtown plan and riverfront plan. I guess
that kind of money, though, if you had a really good indoor water park, you could draw for 12 months.
Yeah, right.
I've seen that.
But again,
in Wisconsin Dells.
Right, but only if you did it in part of a well thought through marketing study plan and budget for operations and
well, the ice skating rink and the hot chocolate at the pavilion, that would draw in the winter months.
Yeah, a couple months. I mean,
you wouldn't have a hill for sledding. It doesn't seem to be that.
There's nothing there.
Yeah. But something. So you have a combination, and you might have as part of your indoor facility, not just the water park, but you could have like basketball courts. I know they have courts in the parts of the city, but if you're going to draw people for recreation, I guess the one rule has to be tied to recreation.
Yeah.
Because Tim Steyer told me that.
Fair.
Planning department.
Fine, good. Do it.
So, you got to
right.
maximize the recreation.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of the pavilion, you've seen those indoor places where they have their little games and...
Yeah, all I have is a block diagram of the outside of the building. I don't have anything in terms of what the inside is conceived to look like.
Well, if you had one of those laser places and stuff.
Yeah, if you did laser tag or something. But 5,400 square feet is nothing. Like,
not
there's
big enough.
no space.
Well, so we're already starting to do a concept on what would draw people.
Right.
For 12 months. And you can weigh in as well. 378-2086. I know I've been on this story for a couple nights, but it's a big story. 378-2086. Actually, last night I got one woman called about the environmental cleanup. You mentioned the super site or whatever the cleanup site. And then another woman called and said, why don't we work on transitional housing for the homeless? I said, well, there's no limit to what else you can spend the money on, right?
I mean, yeah. And that is we've got to start doing something in terms of thinking through how do we integrate the riverfront area that is going through really pretty prime area that connects to downtown. How do you tie that into downtown? How do we create this sort of critical mass where people want to come downtown? You have to have more than one thing to do, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
So if you just have this athletic park, let's say it's greatly successful for the 2 months of the year that it's operating, but it doesn't tie into any shopping, any restaurants, any other things that are
complementary stuff.
Right. Like, how do you figure that into the bigger downtown vision? And again, this is an isolated, standalone project. It has no tie-in. I've seen no reports on how this ties in to any other economic development in the downtown or the rest of the city.
Well, in terms of potential investment on the waterfront downtown, it has to be coming after the jail, the old jail, the current jail, is gone.
Right.
I mean, so we're kind of waiting on that.
Yeah, but it took us 5 years from the time they first presented this athletic park, water park thing to now to get it even voted on, and then another couple of years to build.
kind of came from nowhere too, right? I mean, this whole
I
thing.
mean, we had no warning whatsoever. I've asked about it for a couple months, just like, what are we doing with this athletic park thing? I heard rumors about it. I didn't know anything about it. I was new to the commission. And all of a sudden, in one night, we're given, here's what you got, and you need to vote on it right now.
Who presented this at the meeting?
The mayor did.
The mayor did.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I've contacted the mayor. He's yet to respond.
Yeah.
I mean, he's obviously believing in this. He must have a vision for it.
Great, share it. It'd be great
Right.
to hear that.
Yeah. We're right here. Don't be shy. The water's fine. So what we're discovering here is that even if you have that stuff for the kids and the families with the rock climbing and the lazy river and all that kind of stuff, that's great for the warm weather months. And you're talking about the school schedule. And I was working in Madison, Wisconsin in news and talk radio for years, and they finally built a public pool, but it's open for 11 weeks. Yeah, 11 weeks.
And this will basically be open for 9 that I can figure out, for at least in terms of use. Like maybe it'll be a little bit before and a little bit after school's out, but who's going to use it in the time when the kids are in school?
What you need to do is plan for a 12-month usage and parts of it.
But again, like who's in charge of the marketing of this thing? Who's going to run the operations side of this? Like that person needs to be a superstar.
Well, that's part of the deal. Yeah. And you have to police the park because you can't let the wrong people
and that's what I worry about. Like, it's not a terrible part of town, but it's not a great part of town.
Right. You can't have any worry about security or nobody will come.
Yeah.
So that's part of it.
Right.
It's like I said last night, the parks in Indianapolis are nice, but they police them.
And it's right on the edge of Anderson University, by the way. So, where's AU's involved? Is AU involved in this in any way? Are we tapping into the university to say, hey, could we make this something that connects somehow to the university, either through student involvement or through campus connection or something? Nothing. I mean, there's so much potential here. I'm not saying
I can see some kind of a science house.
Yeah, I'm not saying that we should do nothing with athletic park. That's
but
the canard.
You want direction.
That's the straw man that people are saying, well, we got to do something with it. Well,
that was what we heard in the paper.
We're not advocating do nothing. We're advocating do it well.
We need more than something.
Yeah, right. Like just let's throw $45 million at the problem without any thought and assume that that's going to be enough, and it's not.
And we'll come back. You're listening to Anderson Talks on Oldies 101 WHBU.
The target of a bomb threat. I'm Jake McDaniel. You're listening to Network Indiana. That's what happened to a former home of an Indiana Republican Senator, Jarrett Lewis reports.
State Senator Ron Alting no longer lives at the home in North Lafayette, but said on Tuesday that it was the target of a bomb threat. The Tippecanoe County Sheriff informed Alting that an anonymous email had been sent claiming 2 pipe bombs were placed at the former residence. He says he quickly reached out to the family that now lives there, a pastor, his wife, and their high school-aged son, and learned that they were safe and that the threat was fake. Indiana State Police is now investigating the incident, which is now at least the 3rd bomb threat made involving Indiana Republican lawmakers. Multiple reported swatting incidents. Jarrett Lewis, Network Indiana.
We're not on a record-breaking pace for late November and early December snowfall, but something different is happening this season.
We seem to be delayed getting into winter. It's happening more in January after we get through the holidays. And we identified few signals that suggested that wouldn't be the case this year, that we would probably get into winter pretty quickly, and that's exactly what's happened.
Mike Ryan at the National Weather Service says you can tell winter showed up early by looking at the snowfall in Indianapolis, which is already at 7 inches for the season. New reports say Indiana's healthcare costs are changing. Indiana hospitals are lowering those healthcare costs, according to new reports highlighted by the Indiana Hospital Association. The Indiana Capital Chronicle says Wallet Hub's latest ranking places Indiana as the 8th state in the nation for costs this year. The Indiana Pacers lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers 135-119 last night. Head coach Rick Carlisle.
Hitting first on blockouts, and I think they hit us for 9 or 11 second chance points in the first quarter, and that was a bad start.
Talking to 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan this morning, the 4-17 Pacers will take on the Denver Nuggets tomorrow at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. This is Network Indiana.
With Steel, batteries are included. This holiday season, give a gift that's ready to go right out of the box. For everything from cleaning up the yard to cutting up firewood, Steel tools check off the wish list and knock out the to-do list. And right now, buy select battery tool sets and get a free extra battery. Visit SteelUSA.com for holiday deals and gift ideas. Happy holidays from Steel. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
Take control of your energy use and start saving with a free home energy assessment from NIPSCO. You'll receive a personalized energy evaluation of your home from a trained energy advisor, and you could get energy-saving products professionally installed in your home, all at no cost. NIPSCO's energy efficiency programs are here to help you learn more and save more. Schedule today by visiting nipsco.com/free HEA.
On Oldies 101 with your Tuesday local impact stories, I'm Director of News Operations Steve Lindell. Anderson's Paramount Theater will welcome hundreds of first-time visitors during this busy holiday season. Executive Director Rich Jorn talked to Oldies 101's Anderson Journal Morning Show, saying many of them will become repeat guests.
If you come to the Paramount, you're going to want to come back. You're going to say, okay, we're gonna show things in front of you. You'll see advertising of other things that we're doing, but you're going to realize this is a great place to see a show.
I'm Gianna Gelosi with your Fox True Crime Minute. A man in Italy accused of dressing up as his mom to collect her pension. The man, whose name hasn't been released by authorities, is the son of Graziella Dall'Olio, who had died in 2022 at the age of 82. Police say the 57-year-old man, who's a former nurse and currently unemployed, did not report her death to authorities. When Dall'Olio's ID expired, the son allegedly put on makeup, a wig, and her clothes to pose as his mother and renew her ID. However, the agent that was processing the application noticed dark hair on the back of his neck and on his chin and tipped off authorities to the alleged crime. Officers then went to the elderly woman's home address and found her mummified body in the laundry closet room wrapped in sleeping bags. The man is accused of concealing a corpse, fraud against the state, impersonation, and forgery of a public document. He's accused of removing fluids from his mother's body with a syringe to prevent decomposition. There's more on this story at foxnews.com or subscribe to the Fox True Crime Podcast. I'm Gianna Gelosi with your Fox True Crime Minute.
18.5 more. The Anderson Redevelopment Commission narrowly approved an additional $18.5 million last week for the renovation of Athletic Park. The Herald Bulletin says the measure passed by a 3-2 vote and will provide TIF funds to add to the $20 million already dedicated to the long-time project. Mitch, Henck had a guest yesterday on the subject, has another today during Anderson Talks from 4 to 6 p.m. on Oldies 101. Muncie native Amy West has been appointed as the Anderson Museum of Art's new executive director. A Ball State graduate, her background includes philanthropy, building public education partnerships, and arts and culture programming. Morning Talk on Oldies 101's Anderson Journal radio show, 8 to 9 a.m. Later, it's Anderson Talks with Mitch Henck from 4 to 6. 1240 a.m. Oldies 101.
Oldies 101. Weather will be a lot quieter tonight than it was last night. Low temperature 21. Mostly cloudy in the evening, partly cloudy late. And tomorrow, some sunshine in the morning. Wednesday, more clouds in the afternoon. High of 31. Scattered snow showers Wednesday night, low of 19. Partly sunny 26 on Thursday, partly sunny to finish the week, and 28 Friday. I'm meteorologist Paul Poteet on Oldies 101.
Anderson Talks with Mitch Henck on Oldies 101.
Oh, the holly's always good. Well, the Lemon Spoonful actually will be doing a show with some Hollies covers, former Hollies band member, at late January. Now, Pete Bitar is our guest. He's a voting member of the Anderson Redevelopment Commission, the ARC. I hate acronyms.
Yes.
It was one of the no votes, 2 no votes, along with Danny McGee. Is it Kenny Davenport, Dick Sims, and David Ikes voted yes.
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
$45 million, up from 20. $38.5 million in TIF money, and there's some grants and the other monies. Pete, it's coming from different places, or
no? I mean, so the $20 million, I don't know where that came from originally.
TIF,
the original 20.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so then that was in addition. We just added
18.5. Yeah.
18.5, assuming we get the IEDC grant from the state, the matching grant. There's a $4.5 million grant
of the TIF.
Matching in addition to the TIF.
Well, in addition to.
So it's 38.5 or 38 out of the city's TIF budget. Plus,
tied to the other, or that's in addition to? So.
That's in addition
right,
to get to the $45 million. You got to add $4 plus, and then a few more million. I don't know where that came from either. So
one isn't really dependent on the other. But let's go to the phones, and I've got some other ideas here because we've been brainstorming on some ideas. 378-2086, and good evening. Hello.
Hello, Mitch. It's Nicole Kapuscinski again. I called.
Hey, Nicole.
Last night
yes.
About the Superfund, and I just heard you guys mentioning it. So I wouldn't have been able to give you some definitions last night because I wasn't in front of my computer when I called. And I have been studying up more. Then I lost my place because I got so many different windows open. So, okay, here it was. Superfund. So you mentioned after I hung up on the phone. Wait, let me back up. Thank you, Pete, for voting no. I greatly appreciate your questioning and how you and the other gentleman who also voted no.
Danny Bingy.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys did that. So even though you got my kind of my angry emails, I am about to send some different emails out to you guys with more links.
Yeah, I did get your email, and I would like to know more about the Superfund thing and like what the rules are there and what the jurisdiction is like, because I mean I would assume that the feds or the state would be able to come in and say whoa, you can't do this until you do XYZ first. So it'd be good to know that. Like I don't know what that process is though.
I did alert them, so they'll probably be getting a hold of everybody soon. So I just found I'm going to do the Wikipedia definition, so just kind of a simple breakdown for anybody that was listening. Getting to the point where you, Mitch, brought up yesterday after we hung up about the money.
Yeah.
The EPA supposedly will help investigate and clean up the contaminated areas. Okay, so the other part of my concern is why aren't we going after the free money instead of trying to go after all this other money, yada, yada. But definition,
well, that's for cleanup,
Superfund
though. That's for cleanup, to be fair. I mean, that's not the construction money. But the point is you got to do one before the other.
Right. Thank you. So just a little definition, Superfund site, United States Federal Environmental Remediation Program established by, and I used CERCLA last night, and like I said, I couldn't have given you all the words that go with it, but right now it's Comprehensive Environmental Response, Compensation, and Liability Act of 1980. And so that I just wanted to call in and say that because last night Mitch was saying something about money, and if we're going to invest that much money into the area, I would think that we should be also equally focusing on how do we clean it up. And then the other point, I was doing the research this weekend, I pulled up the Anderson wastewater treatment plant. And as of 11/28, 3 days after you guys just awarded them all this money to do the build, the Anderson wastewater treatment plant was in violation. Just happens to be CSO 16 and 21, which are both in the athletic park area. So 16's at the north, 21's at the south. So they can't even get a handle on what we have now. And I think per the lawsuit of 2002, and then they came back and did another agreement in 2010, they have until 2029 to fix some of these issues. But we're like 4 years out, and the interceptor that they started working on, I just went and did some on-the-ground footage that I would even be willing to share with everyone that shows the condition of the river in September, October, and there was algae blooms all over the place, which suggests that there's high levels of phosphorus, we still have something that's contaminating the White River. And then if you want to build, the commercial front, like it is a prime real estate right through the middle of town, I just think that they should be also equally focusing on cleaning it up so that no one gets sick. And then I'll end with that my mother contracted an incurable disease from groundwater contamination in the 1960s before they built the Wheeler plant. So she passed away November 1st, 2024, and that same month is when I heard Neil McKee mention PFAS in the water, and that is how kind of we got to where we found Superfund sites by January 2025, and the site is next to CSO 25. So nobody has done cleanup in Irondale either, and there could possibly be old septic tanks in the ground over there in Irondale. So just another thought. I'll send an email.
Oh, great points,
thank you guys
Nicole.
for listening to me.
Thank you, because those are important priorities that need to be dealt with, and it's great of you to point that out. So, yes.
Yes, I just wanted to reiterate some of the stuff we were saying last night, and I was going through stuff so fast that I just wanted to make sure that if anybody was listening.
No, keep fighting, and Pete heard you. And
I appreciate that very much. This is not my space. I don't really understand everything that needs to go on in that, but I need to educate myself real quick on this because I think there is more to the story. And again, you can't build a $45 million project on a Superfund site without doing the mitigation that you need to do. Yeah. If in fact that's the case, and they still have to do all this stuff, then
what's the point?
Yeah, what's the point? But the problem is we don't have any way to put the brakes on the construction. They could build it, but then they couldn't open it. Wouldn't that be awesome?
That would be.
That's my other concern.
Like the mall.
Yeah, right. I mean, so that would be like the worst case scenario of all situations.
Yes. Well, Nicole, we appreciate it very much, and
we
really
thank
appreciate
you
that.
so much.
Thank you.
It's important. Those are important points.
Listeners on the radio.
All right. Thank you, Nicole. No, she makes a good point.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's right. This is, and again, I don't know everything.
I'm sure the city is waiting for the feds to pay for all that stuff, if in fact they...
Yeah, but you got to get it done first, right? So what are you talking about, breaking ground in spring? I mean, what if you can't?
Well, that's a good point. I mean, she's really in the know on this stuff and has the personal story to go along with it, which is very compelling about her mother. No, I'm all ears on that stuff, man. We can't have, toxic...
Again, planning, right? You fail to plan, you plan to fail. I mean, so this is where I'm kind of going is that, Mitch, I think we have to just be sensible about this. Again, I'm not saying we don't do anything with it.
Right. You've been
first things
advocating developing the waterfront for years.
Yeah.
We'll come back. But I have some other ideas about the park. But I don't want to blow off her points about the environment either.
No, I mean, you got to start with the right things first.
We'll come back. Anderson Talks. Oldies 101 WHBU.
Hey, Dan, that spaceship-wide lunch meeting at noon, please say it's not more astronaut ice cream and powdered orange drink.
Negatory. Ground control hooked us up with EasyCater, so now we can order from a galaxy of restaurants with tools to stay on budget and meet our dietary needs.
Thank heavens. My dairy tolerance and anti-gravity is not great.
And with EasyCater, it's all on one simple platform, so we can focus on space stuff, like that asteroid. So how about tacos? Hold the cheese.
EasyCater, a stellar way to order food for work. Order now at EasyCater.com.
If a Lenovo computer for your business is on your holiday list, don't shop around. Just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com. It's your last chance to get exclusive deals on the PCs you want for your business, like the ThinkPad X9 14 Aura Edition and Yoga 7i 2-in-1. So avoid all that shopping chaos and price comparing, and just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com, where PCs are up to 35% off. That's Lenovo.com.
Lenovo. Save big on automotive supplies at Menards. Good maintenance equals longer vehicle life, and Menards carries automotive products that will help keep your vehicle on the road. Prevent diesel fuel from gelling in colder climates with Howe's Diesel Treat. It cleans and lubricates fuel injectors and is effective to negative 20 degrees. Get a 64-ounce bottle of Howe's Diesel Treat on sale for $11.99 now through December 7th. Check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Season's greetings to you all from Menards.
Live, local radio for the drive home. Anderson Talks with Mitch Henck. on Oldies 101.
And I got this funny feeling
Harry Chapin.
that we'll all be together again.
I'm a huge fan, so therefore he is in the rotation. We're talking about Wisconsin Dells, where they have the not just amusement, entertainment, tourist attraction, indoor water parks. They have horse-led carriages, romantic, so couples can do those rides. I can think of a big vision where you had all these lights. You had a light display. You had it romantic for the couples and to do the horse thing. I mean, you had horses drawing wagons for the kids.
Yeah.
During the winter months, you could do winter on that.
Sure. Well, and if you had a whole waterfront,
even that a hayride,
you could go down the whole waterfront.
You could have all kinds of attractions.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the indoor water park facility, which would be good for a 12-month attraction. But if you have the horse rides and other things thrown in New York City, the Central Park, you can do the horse-driven carriages.
Right.
And those are very popular.
But again, you need critical mass to make that successful. So, I mean, I'm not saying, these are the issues. These are all ideas, and they're great ideas, but you need a master plan of somebody that's going to be able to come in and say, okay, this is what we're going to try to do with the city. This is why we think it'll work. These are the marketing studies. These are the surveys that we've done. And, to other people's point that have said, what about community engagement? If you don't engage the community and figure out what the community wants.
Well, what about an eatery like the Village Green in Central Park?
Right.
A smaller version of the Village Green.
What you're going to hear the administration say was, well, this isn't the Wisconsin Dells. This isn't Central
Well,
Park.
fine, but you're going to spend $45 million.
But the point is that, they're going to, here's what they're going to tell you. They're going to say, this is Anderson. It won't work here.
Well,
That's what they're going to say.
What will work here?
Right. So the point is that if you don't have something that is going to work, like, how do you know that this is going to work then? What is what is the basis upon which you're going to say that this is going to work and those other things are not going to work? Or what about this combination of ideas and who do you have?
Don't be shy. Close the mic.
I'm sorry. So if we're able to just say, look, there needs to be this comprehensive planning around this concept.
Some serious marketing study.
Well, but it's beyond marketing study. It's talking about like
feasibility
and beyond that too. Just to say, okay, these are the range of ideas that we could implement here. What would actually work here? What would actually work in terms of both community engagement and even if it's free to the community that's local, even if it's a net loss in terms of city budget, if it makes quality of life better by a measurable metric somewhere, then maybe that's a justification. But the point is that there has been none of that.
Well, okay, what attracts people?
Yeah.
Recreation is part of it.
You got to have something to do in Anderson.
Right.
There's nothing to do in Anderson.
Recreation is part of it.
Yep.
I think romance is part of it. You think about that.
I mean,
like the horse thing.
There's a market.
And you think excitement. I mean, Clayton Winston was advocating for a climbing wall for older people, not kids, but, like young adults.
Yeah.
More of an athletic thing.
Sure.
You could put a climbing wall in there.
They talked about doing that with the jail, with the old jail, like it going up the side of the wall.
You need a variety of attractions to attract different markets, right?
Yes.
You got all that space, now all this money. And again, the water park idea is great in terms of the lazy river, but that's an outdoor thing unless you're doing an indoor part of that's indoors.
Right. And that's where I'm saying is like, if this was part of a bigger thought, then okay, fine. This is a stepping stone in a direction that we're taking the whole city.
I think you might have to squeeze in some kind of an eatery.
You have to.
Food attracts people.
Absolutely.
Food attracts people.
You can't build a water park like this without at least. They're talking about a concession stand, but I think you need more than that. You need more than a concession stand. I mean, like even like Carmel. Okay, we're not Carmel, and this is the first thing they're going to say. Well, we're not Carmel. Okay, but they've got this thing called the Chris Kindle Mart downtown, next to the Palladium. Right now, it's running from Thanksgiving to Christmas, basically, and it's just this open German thing where it's outdoor booths, basically, where they've got different food and crafts and ornaments and you name it, and it's surrounding a big outdoor skating rink.
It's a winter thing.
And it's a winter thing. Okay, but
that's great. Yeah.
And that same area is used for something completely different. It's used for farmers markets and everything else during the summer. So why couldn't we do something like that with Athletic Park?
We could. But
again, yeah, and it wouldn't be that
that's
hard
an
of a
attraction,
stretch.
but that's a classy thing.
Yeah.
Because that's where the lights come in.
Yeah. The lights, it's beautiful atmosphere. They've got singing. They've got outdoor, live performances during the winter. And like hot cocoa, you go warm yourself.
Sure.
I mean, it's just a beautiful thing to be
It's like
around.
an exhibit enterprise zone.
Right.
With different things.
Exactly. And so, like if we
now
could
you
pull
got some ideas here, Pete.
Well, I'm just saying there's a million ideas that you could throw at this thing, but again, we haven't seen any of those, and there is no community engagement on that. There's no sense of, hey, what would you be willing to get behind as this community if we brought something like this in and made it these things? These are some of the ideas that we have. These are some of the visions that we have for how both this ties into, and then how does it tie into the rest? You talk about eateries. We have restaurants downtown. We'd have more restaurants downtown if we could figure out an artery from this athletic park area into the downtown area and along the waterfront.
Very close, yeah.
What if you had
now
waterfront
finally
restaurants?
the shuttle idea. We need to shuttle people because you don't want to take up.
We used to have that trolley. Remember that?
Well, we need that again. We can't take up half the park with parking.
Yeah,
that we don't want to do.
Well, and there's like 50 spots. I mean, I can show you right here.
But
it's
still,
not very many.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Aesthetically.
Yeah, no, you're
so
right.
you need a shuttle service where people can park their car comfortably and take the shuttle to the park. And the shuttle needs to, am I wrong here? We don't want to fill up half the field with cars.
Well, and it's just our flying cars.
Well, we could have a landing pad for you.
See, we got to have
we
that.
could squeeze in the
All right.
landing pads.
Now we're talking. So, but I guess here's the thing: if we could figure out how we bring more of the community and in engagement, both in ideas and in implementation, and then do like the due diligence, the marketing study, the budgeting for operations, the staffing, the right kind of people to run this thing. I mean, it's. I'm not saying no. I'm not saying no to anything there. I'm saying let's do this right. But, I mean, honestly, based on what Nicole said, like, we really got to look at that Superfund.
Well, that's a separate issue.
It's a separate issue, but it's sort of foundational.
Right.
If we don't do that,
can't
like,
just
what else?
blow that off.
I mean,
yeah,
holy cow!
Clean up the pollution.
We've got a lot. We've got a lot of work to do still on this before it becomes reality, in my opinion. So,
well,
I mean,
you're a voice of reason, and you are a voting member.
Yeah, I know. I'm a voting member.
You're allowed to ask questions. They don't let the public ask questions, but you can.
Well, yeah, but they don't have to answer them, and they can vote right over me. So,
vote for what?
My point is that this is what happened.
I know, but going forward, they have to produce something.
Well, and it's not a done deal just because we voted yes to do it that it's going to actually become a reality.
No.
So,
I love your Carmel outdoor exhibit thing. It's a great idea.
I mean, go down there sometime.
I've been
Chris
to
Kindlemart. It's beautiful.
It's gorgeous, but Chris Kindlemart, write that down.
Yeah.
And the lights. I think we need the great lights.
Yeah, the lights would be easy.
That's a simple thing. And then the various attractions. I do like the horse thing. That
could work.
Room.
I mean, if you could get the infrastructure around it, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can because you're spending a lot of money. Now, the water park idea, I hope they don't think only in terms of 9 weeks in the summer because that's not going to help you.
That is, honestly, looking at it, I mean, that's like 85% of the budget is around that.
The water park?
Yeah, that's what this is. I mean, if you look at this budget right here, it's mostly...
How much for the water park out of the $45 million?
The water park is 10... Well, I mean, geez, there's so much. And
that is with the lazy river.
You're talking 10 plus 5 plus...
So we're approaching $20 million just for that.
Oh, no, it's not. That's not even touching it. Plus 9.5.
10, 9.5.
Plus,
so 25, 30? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, what else is going to be in the park then?
Yeah. Playground area is, you're talking like $3 million.
$3 million playground area.
Yeah.
Rock climbing, the splash pad. Well,
the amphitheater and stuff is like another 2.5, looks like.
Well, first of all, the
Pavilion-
amphitheater,
the
I never
pavilion
have
building.
understood that concept. What kind of
Check
family
this out.
show?
So the pavilion building is 5,400 square feet, 5,425 square feet, and it's $3.2 million.
Well, that's not the amphitheater. It's a pavilion.
That's the pavilion.
So it's gathering places.
Amphitheater is $2.5 million.
Okay, and so you got to do shows there, but in the summer. You can't do shows there in the winter, right? I mean,
Probably
it's cold.
not.
It's cold
Probably
out.
not. Oh, and that includes the splash pad, by the way.
Oh.
Which is $600,000.
So really, what you're saying is half the budget for the entire enterprise is for the water park.
Pretty much. With all the infrastructure that goes into requiring what you would require for the water park, it looks like. And I mean, I'm just doing kind of a cursory thing, but like lots utility infrastructure is 9.5, and the water park itself is about 12.5. Looks like,
And that's not for an indoor component. That's for an outdoor park.
Yeah.
So we're talking 9 weeks.
Yeah.
Operations 9 weeks, which is insane.
Yep.
Well, we have some work to do, Pete, on this enterprise.
Yes, sir.
And so, I hope. I mean, is there an ice skating facility in the plan?
Who knows?
It's not in the plan.
Not in the plan. Not that I saw.
So forget the winter.
I mean, they've talked about it, but where are you going to put it?
In the park.
On top of the splash pad? I mean, where are we putting it?
But if you don't have something for the winter, what are you doing?
But I'm just saying, there's no marketing plan here to say this is what we're going to do this month of the year, this month of the year, this month of the year. Like these are the activities that we're going to do, and this is the infrastructure that goes behind that. It's like, I'm exhausted.
So, as we sum up, the vote 3-2 vote you're suggesting means that the three, or the mayor and his staff, could now take that vote and just go forward with whatever they want and break ground in the spring.
I guess.
And go for it, whatever it is.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, in the meantime, you can cajole, you can talk to your fellow members and raise these questions.
I mean, it's questions that need answering, but there's nothing that compels them to answer it.
Well, who decided on this firm? I mean, reaching out for the bid.
Mayor's office.
Okay, well, Pete, I'm glad you came in.
Well,
it's an important issue.
I'm sorry I didn't have more cheerful news to give you. I just want to reiterate, this is not me saying we shouldn't do anything with the athletic park. We shouldn't do anything with the city. This is me saying that Anderson deserves better. We deserve a plan.
More thought, more planning.
Yeah, we deserve an opportunity to actually build something that succeeds and doesn't just fall by the wayside.
Yeah, you got to think it out. You got to put the big picture in the conversation.
Yep.
Do it right.
That's right. Do it right.
That is the word from Pete Bitar. He's exactly right on that. And your input is needed on this. I'm going to continue to work on it. We're trying to get somebody in favor of the vote Thursday. I'm working on it. It's not easy. America's money.